Okay, feeling much better now. Uh, so I've decided that I need to mask the hair. Um, I want something dark in the background. Gee, I still have some phthalo green paint saved back. And I want this wispy hair. Look at this. See how she's got wispy, fine hair. So no strong clumps here. On the other hand, I don't want individual hairs. That's just too much. But I'm planning to put masking down, knowing that later on I'll probably do a little bit of lifting and softening of edges. Okay, and then this looks like a little fountain of hair up here. That's funny. So I've got my paper towel handy. I've got my soap and water. Everybody's already familiar with that. I don't need to go through that. And I have a cap out here, bottle cap. Never shake your masking up, by the way. Okay, so I made a mistake the other day because I worked with a brush where I didn't get enough water out of the brush. And that's a big deal because I've got masking that's not going to come back up. So be sure that you squeeze this out really well. Okay, let's see what we can do here. So I already have a little bit of color down here, which hurts nothing. I'm just going to put a little more lift in this, get just a little bit more going on here than oh, there's Sophie. We've got new neighbors moving in, so Sophie's on alert. Thank you, Sophie. And so even here, I'm going to have a darker background. So I think I'll turn the video off because you don't need to see me just stand here and do a lot of this. But I'm going to make a lot of wispy places here. Well, I'm going to demonstrate this part. I don't know how well this is going to work out, but we've got a color up here that's not too unlike the hair. And I just thought, you see, I don't know if you can see it or not. I've put a little bit of bangs in here with my masking. I can't say that I've ever done this before. There. Well, we'll see what that does. And I think I would like a little bit more curl over here. Yeah, I don't usually mask the interior of the hair, but I kind of got the urge on this one. Okay, that should be enough. Well, almost. You see these blunt ends here in the hair? That won't work. Let it tail off into a finer line. I think I've got some down there. Okay. And the rest of that I'm not going to put back in the bottle. I don't think it's a good idea. Well, I picked up this scrap to test some colors on this end. And then I looked at this and I thought, you know, this would be nice in the painting. It's kind of the color of that. I guess that's why I liked it. But we need something really dark so that our halo will stand out. See, right here, her halo doesn't stand out. And she is a little angel, so naturally she's going to have a halo. And I have, let's see, where do I have it? I have a little bit of greens from before, from Claire. What if I had that, and what if I created some movement in it? See, by putting it down thick and thin here, and then coming in with an opaque, which this is Cheap Joe's Naples Yellow. So it kind of makes a something a little bit playful happen here. And of course some twinkles. Maybe a little dry brush somewhere. I don't know where I want to put a little dry brush though. So this should be like a chair in behind her or something. In fact, I thought about making the chair curve, have a curve in back right there. Oh, let's try dropping a little something else into it. How about a little Queen Gold? I had another combination that I liked. That makes me think of. I have this great love of using either Prussian blue or phthalo blue even. We'll pick up Prussian here. I don't think I have that pre-wet enough. Prussian blue and Gertite. Because this reminded me of it. I have to let that soak a minute. I decided that I want this chair to have a curve in it instead of like the one in the picture. So I'm putting paper towel down here so I can rest my hand. I would like for this curve, maybe cut in there like that. If it does, that's almost tangential with the hand. No, that's not going to do. So, I guess I'll take that out. I guess I'm going to want it to come behind the hand like this. And here's the thing. I want that curve to come all the way up here. Okay, like that. And then it ought to just go straight across and over to somewhere like that. I guess that'll do. Okay, this is the end of the painting right here. Somewhere right across here is the bottom of the painting. I think that'll work. I wouldn't mind if it had just a little more curve. If it just came out just a little bit, but I'd like for it to not totally go in behind this. I wanted this to come out over. Well, maybe I could come this way. Maybe I could come this way and like that. Okay. So that way, although it's so incidental and small, it really hardly counts. I might even crop it there, but the idea was to have a dark over light there. But it's really not someplace in the painting where that's going to matter much. So I had tried out a couple of color combinations here. I got kind of busy with them, maybe a little too busy. I did this. I think this would work. I wish it was a little darker, and same thing with this one. I wish this was a little darker. So I've tried to make up my mind. I want it to be dark, have some texture, and I want it to be happy. I mean, I don't know how you're dark and happy at the same time, but Quinn Gold in here could be happy. You know, I might do a layer of Quinn Gold and then pull green in on top of it. I think that's what I'm going to do. Okay, here we go. Oh, except I need a clean plate. Look how clean that is. Isn't that amazing? Well, that happens once in a blue moon. Okay. So, oh, that, you know what? I picked up the wrong color. I picked up the Gertite. Okay. Well, we'll use some Gertite and some Quinn Gold, both. I use Gertite so rarely I forgot where it was. But I love the stuff when I use it. It's really fun to work with. I think everyone should have Gertite on their palette. Okay, so here's the thing. I didn't necessarily fill everything in here that I should have. So I'm going to have to paint a little carefully in here and not go just all the way up to the face everywhere, because I don't think I'd be happy with the results. Let's start out over here. And this is going to get another layer of color on top of it. Okay. So again, paper towel here. Makes it easier to keep that brush steady. Okay. A lot of color, okay? I want this to be pretty strong. And it's soupy enough. Ooh, I almost hit her head there. Almost got on her skin. Boy, that was a close call. There's a little gap there that I wanted, so I'll just put it in. And right in here, I painted pretty carefully. I put my masking on pretty carefully right there. So, I don't know if I'm in the frame. This might be interesting on its own. Who knows? Maybe I'll decide to get that a little darker and keep it without putting another layer on top. Let's go over here. Steady, steady, steady. I hope I mixed up enough. Always plan ahead. Make sure you have enough paint mixed up. Don't do the dumb stuff that I do. You should know by now. Well, that's a brownie orange. It's just great. It's going to dull considerably. That's so happy. That's what I wanted. I wanted something happy, but I wasn't planning on it being this. But I like this so well, I might just keep it. And I don't know how far I'm going over here. That's probably going to crop up this way, but I'll pull some more out just to be sure. And then let's get a smaller brush. And let's just turn it upside down. Do something like that. Interesting. Let's stop there. Here's the thing. I get to wanting to fiddle with it, and I can't tell enough about what I'm doing to be fiddling with it. I need a little self-control here. I don't like that shape right there. And I don't know, there's masking under there too, so we'll see what that does. All right. Well, that looks plumb strange here. We'll see. Tell you what, I'll pull that shoulder down a little bit because I got too far down in other places. So there. Okay. Oh. I think I've got just enough paint left. So right here I'm using one of those cat's tongues, or I think they call it an oval brush sometimes. And I'm not that crazy about them. But I've got a couple because someone talked me into it one time, many years ago. And it just happened to be handy and sticking up out of the jar when I needed this size brush. I feel better about this now. You know, I could spatter this, or I could put a darker color on top of it when it's dry and spatter that one. That might be really pretty. You know, I don't want the background to detract from the child and the child's halo. This may be the only time in her life she appears this angelic. I kind of want to soften the edge on this chair. And I did something a while ago that I thought looked really cool, although it's probably perfectly useless right here. But I'm going to take water, and I'm just going along the edge of this. And what I did was I got a dry brush effect. Let's see. Right here. See that thing? That's probably too strong of an effect anyway, but isn't that cool? That's destined to happen more in our future. And I don't have enough color built up here to get that effect. Oh, there I got a little bit of it. So if I get a little color in under here, that'll make a better transition to whatever I put back in the background. Because I think transitions are a big deal. Especially if you're getting halfway. Well, I won't call this realism, but it's in that direction. Anyway, I think good transitions are really important. I learned that from a video. I'm not real happy with this shape right here. I'm going to have to trim some off of it at some point, but not necessarily right now. Let's try some other color now. Because what I would like to do is I would like to get this background in where I can pull up my masking, and then I can tell more what I want to do with the face as far as value is concerned. So, okay, let's get out this Prussian blue. Oops. I've got a lot of yellow still in my brush. That to be pretty strong, but I'm not quite sure what I want it to do, quite frankly. Well, see, that's just going to be a really dull green. It looks almost black right now, doesn't it? And my thinking is that I'm going to spatter water into it. And have some of the gold peek through. That's my thinking. If it's too awful, I'll just paint over it and paint it black. So, I recommend watching this video to the end before you do this. Because you might decide that I did an awful ugly thing. It looks olive. And while olive is one of my favorite greens, it's not what I had in mind here. Most people plan these things out better than I do, and I recommend that. Again, don't necessarily do what I do. Mm. Where's that other brush? And don't drip dark color on her face. That's the major thing here. I plan to kind of crop right here across the top into the hair. Much as I love the little sparkles on this little top knot, I really don't like that the head is so low in the painting. It's not what I would normally do, but this is, you know, I only have a photograph down to there. So, uh-oh. Kind of got out of my lines there. Does that matter? Probably not. No, this is not at all what I wanted. See, I just didn't plan ahead properly. Yeah, and I would like to get this on here a little bit unevenly. Uh-oh. I need to be a little more careful with that hair. And then I'm going to need clean water to spatter on this. Oh, look, there's a nice little blob of some kind. There's a better shape right there. Oops. It should dip in there a little bit, I think. I think it would have been much better to mix these, to put these two down at the same time than to layer them. So I got a little more unevenness. However, I've got some uneven things happening in here that look kind of interesting. Got to get clean water. Now I'm standing up. I've got clean water. I got a paper towel in hand, and my major thing is not to get anything on her. Just a few sprinkles out here, and let's see if it makes some runbacks or something interesting happening. This side's a little wetter, so I'll wait a little longer. I think this is one of those things where you go off and you leave it and you come back and find it and you cry a little and go on. I had a cat walk through the middle of an almost finished portrait one time, and just before she stepped on the portrait, she had stepped in the phthalo green. And believe it or not, and she stepped in the middle of a face, and it came up. I can't believe it came up. I just don't like that. I don't know why I did this. You could pick some other color. You can see how to lay it in here. I think I'm going to blot this. Oh, well, I don't like that either. No, I don't like that at all. That's just too cheesy. So I'll have to put some other color on top. I may not send this video out until tomorrow. See, I think that could be okay if it was more subtle. And so I'm going to make it more subtle by just putting a more unifying layer of something down here. See, I wanted texture, but that's too much texture, I think. We're going to let it dry. I'll put something else on it tomorrow morning, and then I'm going to send out a video. I wanted to send one out tonight. It takes them forever to load. See, either one of those would have been perfectly nice if I'd just done that. This looks like garbage. So the next part of the video will be how to fix garbage. Oh wait, here's the way to fix garbage. I've painted like this before. I usually wait for it to be dry, or I put paint on my Mr. Magic sponge. I'm turning that into just pretty soft brush strokes. Oh, that's pretty. See, we didn't have to wait for tomorrow morning. And see, it's got texture, but the texture is not so pronounced. I also didn't like the color. But now we've got a kind of a pretty olive. It's not the best, but maybe that'll make her look even better, huh? Careful not to pull up my masking. I may still have to do something more to this. Yeah, I think I'll have to do something right in there. That's going to be too light. It's going to make this a light hole right where I want it to be darkest. I want it to be darkest right here behind her hair on this side. I got a blob on her finger too. Okay, we're going to stop right there. So now we have an olive green with a more acceptable texture. Something has to happen here, though. Well, never one to have good sense and stop when I know I should. You know, a lot of you have told me you have this same problem. You want to just keep working on something when you get into trouble instead of backing off sometimes. And it doesn't work out for you. Well, it doesn't always work out for me either. This is phthalo blue. I believe that's going to be acceptable. I've only got a little of it because phthalo blue is another one of those. One of those that I'll probably start using more of in the future, but I used to never use it and not use it in class because it can be disastrous. And of course, I wanted to lift some of these strands of hair, and it's probably going to be a little bit of a problem now because I've gotten this so wet with so much color. The Queen Gold would have come up pretty easily for me. A Prussian blue, not so much, but now that I've got this phthalo blue, I've got this third wet area on top of here. It's going to be a little bit unfriendly. Okay. Maybe I just put a little phthalo blue over here like that and stop. Let it just do its thing. Okay, I wanted a dark background. I think I'm going to have one. Bye all.